The concrete trucks arrived on a Tuesday. Karen was outside immediately. "What is this?" she demanded, hands on hips, sunglasses tilted like she was preparing for battle. "These are my planters," I said calmly. They weren't pots. They were reinforced concrete landscape barriers, professionally textured, finished in a neutral stone color, each one weighing just over 2 tons. The crane lifted them gently into place, one on each side of my driveway entrance. Perfectly aligned. 6 inches from the curb. Exactly within my property line. The crew chief asked, "You want them centered?" I smiled. "Precisely." Karen started yelling about violations. She called the HOA president. The president arrived, looked at the paperwork, and one very quaint. Everything was approved. The planters didn't block the street. Didn't touch the sidewalk. Didn't violate sightlines. But they did one very important thing. They made it physically impossible to park across my driveway. Karen tried anyway. She angled herself, misjudged the space, and stopped short, stuck diagonally, blocking herself. A tow truck arrived 20 minutes later. The driver stepped out, looked at the planters, whistled, and said, "Yeah. I'm not touching that." Karen demanded they be moved. The HOA sent a violation notice to her for illegal parking and repeated obstruction of a driveway. She appealed. The city inspector showed up. He measured. He nodded. He complimented the finish and asked who the contractor was. Within a week, new signs appeared along the street: "No parking, driveway clearance required." Karen stopped parking there. She also stopped waving. The planters are still there. Filled with slow-growing evergreens. They look tasteful. Permanent. Heavy. Every morning at Shibin Bialishtem, I drive straight out of my driveway, unblocked, uninterrupted, past the exact spot where Karen used to park. She never did ask how much they weighed. She didn't live next door. She didn't even live on my street. She lived 3 houses down and claimed, loudly, that the curb space in front of my driveway was key community access adjacent parking, a phrase she invented and repeated with confidence. The first time it happened, I assumed it was a mistake. I knocked. No answer. The second time, I left a polite note. The third time, I called the HOA. That's when the fun started. The HOA board, 3 retirees and Karen herself, decided that because my driveway apron crossed key common visual space, Karen's parking was key technically discouraged but not prohibited. In other words, my problem. I submitted photos. Timestamps. City diagrams showing the driveway cut. Karen responded by blocking me earlier. Soon I was trapped in every morning. Late for work. Late for appointments. Watching her sip coffee from her porch while pretending not to see me. When I tried in towing, the HOA warned me about harassment. That's when I stopped arguing and started reading. The HOA handbook was 290 pages long. Buried on page 30 was a section titled "The owner installed landscaping features." It said owners could add decorative elements as long as they didn't extend into the roadway, didn't block sidewalks, were key aesthetically consistent, were approved by the Architectural Review Committee. No weight limits. No removal clause once approved. I submitted a request for C2 low-profile decorative planters to enhance curb appeal. Karen approved it herself.